For auto-scaling groups, you're going to have to know the different scaling options and policies and when those would be appropriate. You need to have a really good understanding of the limitations and differences between horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. Know what a cooldown period is, and know that it's different than a health check grace period. And also know how cooldown might impact your responsiveness to demand. For Kinesis, the exam is likely to be restricted to just the data stream use cases for Kinesis, such as data streams and Firehose. And you should understand the shard concept and how partition keys and sequences enable shards to manage data flow. For DynamoDB auto-scaling, you should know both the old and new terminology of a partition key, and a sort key. You should understand how DynamoDB calculates total partitions and allocates RCUs and WCUs across those available partitions. And conceptually, you should know how the data is stored across the partitions. For CloudFront Part 2, you should know that both static and dynamic content is supported. And understand all the possible origins and how you can set up multiple origins using behaviors. You should know some invalidation methods, that it supports zone apex, and the geo-restriction options. So for SNS, you should understand a loosely coupled architecture and the benefits that brings, and know the different types of subscription endpoints supported. For SQS, you should know the difference between a standard queue and a FIFO queue, and know the difference between a pub-sub architecture versus a message queuing architecture. For Lambda, you should know what serverless is in concept and how Lambda can facilitate that, and know the languages supported by Lambda. For simple workflow service, understand the difference and functions of a worker and a decider, and know that it's best suited for human-enabled workflow like order fulfillment or procedural requests. For Elastic MapReduce, you should know the parts of a Hadoop landscape at a high level, and know what a cluster is and what steps are, and understand the roles of a master node, core nodes, and task nodes. Remember to read through the white papers that I've linked in this lesson. If you're watching on a browser, they're going to be over here, and if you're watching on a mobile device, they're going to be down here when you put the device in portrait mode.